Hi, this is Eddie Deezen. You're listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall. I was Mandark in Dexter's laboratory. Ha 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 ha.
You are listening to Breaking the Fourth Wall on Realm of the Mist Entertainment. Hey guys, Christopher Stolle here with Mark and Tricia from Make My Food Awesome. Guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. And I got to start off real quick. Again, I was new to the channel. I was checking it out. It's a channel on YouTube. I want people to know that right away. That this all started was a couple years ago. You guys were thinking about doing this, but it was all started from Mark, you having basically a heart attack?
Well, I was diagnosed in 2017 with cardiomyopathy. I was actually on the verge of having a heart attack or a stroke.
Okay.
And I got taken into the hospital. They diagnosed me. And then basically that's where, I've always done the cooking and everything like that. I've been working in film for 25 years, so I wanted to just combine everything. And then Tricia and I reconnected after 27 years.
I caught that. You guys went to school together.
Actually, no, we didn't. We went to two neighboring schools and we worked our first real job.
That's what it was. Yeah.
McDonald's when we were 16. That's where we met.
Now with you guys, there was always obviously a passion for food, even eating at McDonald's. Before the Make My Food Awesome idea came around, which obviously kind of took a change because of your medical condition, in the sense that you kind of went more vegan with a lot of your presentations. Wasn't that always the presentation for the idea before everything happened, or this is because of?
Yeah, well, Make My Food Awesome came out of me being diagnosed. Before then, part of the reason that it led up to me having the high blood pressure and everything is because I was eating anything and everything that was fattening. I would just make recipes off of whatever.
Well, to go way back in time, he's always messed around with food because we worked together at McDonald's and then for Big Boys through a golf course concession. So he was always a very creative person that way, always was messing around with flavors and foods. So yeah, as you become an adult, you get into bad habits. So yeah, he always had a bug for cooking, but I think his near,
death
kind of made him rethink how could I share my passion but do it in a more healthy way.
Well, no, that's absolutely odd. That's why I was curious. Was it something that was always kind of on the back of your mind of if I did do this show, I would want to make more healthier choice foods, or was it I want to make ice cream sundaes and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it's well, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Well, the show wasn't even it wasn't even an idea, because our friends Tony and Shirley, big shout out to them.
Yeah.
They've helped with marketing and working on trying to get this branded. But that came about after I was diagnosed. But I would go up there, and I remember in one weekend I cooked a whole turkey dinner, or a Thanksgiving dinner, and then that was on a Saturday, and then on that Sunday I cooked a whole ham and mashed potatoes, and they had more food left in their in their fridge than I brought up. But it was that was the turning point, was the whole heart condition.
Yeah. So.
Well, obviously the big question is, do you miss it? Not the heart condition, obviously. The types of food you would eat beforehand. I lost audio. Oh, you guys there?
Okay, there you are.
There we are.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I lost audio for a minute.
But no, I miss seafood. certain aspects of it. But now I experiment so much more because I'm using so many different ingredients. I don't put any sodium whatsoever into any of my food.
No, he uses a sodium substitute.
It's potassium
chloride.
Okay.
It's suggested for heart patients and people that have high blood pressure and things like that. But yeah, I have to say he does so well with flavors and spices and things that I don't even miss the salt when he cooks. Right. You don't even, and then when I do eat something that's really sodium laden, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so salty.
Burns your tongue.
But he's a phenomenal cook. He really is. All right.
So if I'm understanding correctly from everything that's happening, like I obviously will step away now from what the catalyst was that created the show to the show itself. I brain farted myself here for a second. You said that you started off obviously at McDonald's and some, like most people had a fast food job and all.
Right.
But you have a formal training in the culinary arts, or you were an actor and you just kind of dabbled?
It was, I not really any training other than the fact, I worked at a Round Table Pizza in California for a while.
Okay.
I'm presently employed at the Milford House Bar and Grill as a cook in their kitchen. And I've worked, little places here and there, different restaurants, but I mean, nothing where I went to school for it.
Okay.
It's everything I've learned along the way and self-taught.
Self-taught, and then, learning from the chefs that he works with. So, yeah.
Have they seen the show? What do they think of it, your coworkers?
I know that I think some of them are subscribed, but none of them have said anything to me because after all this, everything's happened with the quarantine.
Right.
I was laid off because I'm high risk.
Right.
So I was laid off temporarily and just waiting to go back. But some of them have subscribed. They just have not commented on anything yet.
I think it's interesting too, because Chef was talking to him about maybe bringing some vegan options to the restaurant menu.
Mm-hmm.
So, hoping to kind of like test things out, in the restaurant and see where that goes. So, yeah.
That's definitely not a terrible idea. I worked, ironically enough, in Colorado. I worked for a Philadelphia cheesesteak restaurant. And I only worked with her because she was actually from Philly, got the ingredients from Philly. It was an authentic cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting annoyed because we used to have vegetarian, vegan people come in, and they would come into a cheesesteak place and demand a non-meat cheesesteak.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do with that if you don't have.
Exactly. It's like I don't go to Salad Works and demand a steak. But I mean, it prompted to the point where we started looking into those meat substitutes like Boca.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And apparently it was an awesome seller. People actually enjoyed it, including people who were meat eaters who just wanted to try something different. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not a terrible idea to bring different options into different areas. I definitely agree with that. Mm. Now with the way you cook, and I haven't gotten that far, and I started watching your channel. I'm not going to spoil anything because we want people to go to your channel, but your style of cooking, is it, would you say it's more like higher class type cooking, or would you say it's more like the for lack of a better term here, I don't know the vegan equivalent here, but like the Saturday evening barbecue burger and fries style of cooking?
I think it would be a combination of both.
He can do both. I guess it depends on who he's cooking for.
But I love when it comes down to it, the one thing that I always say is the first thing you see on your plate, you're going to eat with your eyes.
Right.
And that's in the first thing you see, you're gonna it's either a plate of mess or it's something that's gonna look nice. So I completely believe I don't care if it's a hamburger, I don't care what, it has to look nice.
Right.
And then it has to taste good. And you just have to go through all those steps. I know of people who've said that, well, I don't care what it looks like, just as long as it tastes good.
I I don't know about that. You're braver than me.
I've lived the bachelor lifestyle. Where you figured out 50 different ingredients with ramen noodles. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't look good. So anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry.
No,
that's all right.
That's pretty much. I mean, I like it to look nice on the plate, so I like to take my time, garnish it. And we've got a little garden, so we can grab basil and a lot of fresh, herbs out there to go ahead and garnish it with. But I like it to look nice, and then it has to taste good.
Yes. Well, and cooking, I have 3 kids, and my oldest has moved out, so I have one son, and my daughter's home, and my son that's living with us is a very picky eater, and he's gotten him to eat all sorts of things that I could have never gotten him to try. So they're kind of our test group every once in a while.
Pigs.
But yeah, I mean, he does a mix of both, but it's always really good stuff. I mean, I have to say you haven't had too many flubs actually, which is good.
I think the first flub that I actually had when we started seeing each other again was I tried making a pizza,
a vegan pizza crust.
And the crust, the recipe that I used for it, I will never use again. But it turned out it was like eating cardboard. And
it tasted like
and
cardboard.
I gave it to her oldest son, and he took a bite out of it and just, he didn't say anything bad. But then I was walking out the door 5 minutes later, going up and getting him a hot and ready. So.
Well, my oldest son eats everything, so right there I was like, oh.
I felt really bad about that one.
Well, we forgave you for it.
Well, that's one of the things that I found interesting just in the first episode of Make My Food Awesome is you guys sitting there telling your story of what started the show and all, and the dynamic between you two, like you said, is Mark, you're the kind of the mad inventor, the mad scientist who is taking all these things and kind of putting it together. But the interesting dynamic is, Tricia, you're kind of for lack of a better term here, you're kind of the nutritionist. You're the gardener who grows all the food that you guys use together. And and the one thing that I did get from the show is that you guys are very adamant on using fresh, homegrown ingredients as opposed to going to the store. Even though you said you can go to the store and pick up bell green peppers and spiral them out if that's what you want to do, but you guys were very adamant about especially home gardening and using ingredients that you grew yourself. And obviously, from what I take of it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Tricia, that's really your influence. That's your area of expertise, correct?
Yeah. I've been gardening since I was like 4 years old.
Okay.
And I have a science background, so I am really a science.
She's my nerd.
I'm a nerd, and I'm proud of it. I mean, I think it's important that, adults and children alike know where your food comes from. If you have the opportunity to dabble with it, to experiment with it, why not? I mean, it's kind of a lost art in certain parts of society. I mean, we get so used to the convenience of picking things up. So, from a little kid, I was introduced to canning and gardening, and I've introduced my kids to that. So I think it's an important part of preparing your food. It's knowing where it comes from.
And it's nice having her there because, for lack of a better word, when I missay something or I forget, she'll quickly fill it in, which I'm thankful for. Because when I've tried filming stuff by myself back before, we got together, it's to script it out and then I forget something and I get flustered and I have to go back. But it's nice to have Tricia, she gives insight with the nutrition, all the health benefits, but then also because of the fact that she picks up my slack. So.
Trust me, I more than understand. Like, you guys can't hear it in the background, but whenever I'm rambling or I'm going into a story I shouldn't be going into, I have a voice in the background that usually says, "Shut up, idiot. Let them talk." It's nice to have a conscience once in a while.
Yeah, it's good to have a partner that, keeps you on your toes.
Now, obviously with some of these dishes that you guys try to show people, you have to test them and try them yourself, see if they work or don't work. How often have you guys been there? Like you said, we were talking about flubs earlier, where you were like, again, I'm throwing out probably something that's completely left field, but like, let's say for the sake of argument, you were creating a garden veggie burger, just for the sake of argument, and you want it to look and taste and feel like the real thing without obviously using meat or whatever the case may be. How many times do you have to go through testing and trying and, trial and error and, oh no, that tastes too much like a whatever,
Right.
than what it's supposed to be. God, you could taste the eggplant in that doesn't taste like a burger, whatever.
Right.
How many times you guys go through that before you even wind up putting it on air?
Well, it's funny because sometimes we'll test, and sometimes our test is when we do it on the show.
Well, it is. I mean, it depends on what the purpose of the show is.
Right.
I mean, to show people that they can make it on their own and that we're human, we make mistakes too. So, I mean, we do. What I would notice is the more complicated the recipe might be, or we might anticipate it to be, we'll totally test run it. And then say, yeah, maybe we need more of that or less of that or whatever. But sometimes it's, here we go.
and the big thing that I stress all the time is you have to take whatever it is and make it your own. If you want to add something in, add it in. If you want to leave something out, leave it out. We just did 2 shows for Middle Eastern dishes. And the one had mint in it. Actually, both had mint in it, but the mint in it was sticking to our teeth while we were filming
our episode.
And I had exactly, we were picking it out. And so Tricia was trying not to even eat too many bites because it was sticking in her teeth. And I'm not a big mint person, but there was so much mint in there. It was like I had just put a tube of toothpaste in my mouth and took a bite of the food. I mean, it was.
So yeah, like if
strong.
we're gonna cook with mint again, we know what we're gonna do and what we're not
Just
gonna do.
don't use too much.
Or cut it really small.
Yes.
So obviously when you create these episodes and all, you're basically giving out your recipes to people. You're giving them the play-by-play on how to make these dishes. Like you said, you can add or remove what you wish to add or remove, which makes it very versatile. But what is like one of your favorite dishes that you've released thus far? Like what's one of the episodes where you were like, God, that was a really good dish? Yeah.
Oh well. We have a couple, but you go ahead.
I'm gonna say I did an apple pie. These little tiny small apple pies.
Okay.
And and I found this great recipe.
We lost audio again.
Probably one of my favorite ones. But there's been a lot of dishes.
Well, I think I liked our cauliflower.
Oh yeah.
spicy-
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, what's the long title of that one? The honey
That is
sriracha
honey sriracha spicy cauliflower wings.
Those were good. And this is gonna sound weird, but it's really good.
It is. Oh my gosh.
Avocado
so good.
chocolate pudding is
Yes.
actually really good.
Okay. Yes. I'm going to ignore the avocado chocolate pudding.
You can't even tell it's in there.
I'm not an avocado fan, but you have me at these sriracha cauliflower wings.
Yes.
We're talking like boneless hot wings. With
Yeah, made out of cauliflower.
Yep.
They're really good.
Yep. You just batter them and you bake them, and then you toss them in a sriracha honey sauce, and then you put some sesame seeds on top.
Or if you don't like those, you don't have to put those on.
And oh my gosh, and Tricia makes a phenomenal vegan ranch dressing.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
my mouth's watering. Right. It is so good. They're so, I just made, the other night I tried doing it with some zucchini, but it didn't turn out the same way. But yeah,
Well,
no, that's good recipe.
you raise a good question for somebody like me who's kind of ignorant to things that are or are not vegan or vegetarian in nature. Like obviously, I know meat is meat and vegetables are vegetables, but like when you said with ranch, like a vegan ranch, I know there's a dairy component to ranch, but outside of that, what makes a vegetarian ranch different from a regular ranch?
Okay, so usually you'll use a buttermilk base or something, a milk product. So to replace that, you can replace it with like rice milk or an almond milk that's unflavored.
Okay.
A lot of the different uh, milk, non-dairy milk products are nut-based or, yeah, grain
Soy.
based,
Yeah.
soy. So I usually use an unflavored rice milk for that. And then everything else you can purchase. They do have vegan mayonnaise, which is all veggie based. Just
Okay.
like a margarine, most margarines are veggie based, but it has the flavoring as what a traditional mayo would have. And then all your normal spices that you would normally put in ranch. So that's usually, we experiment with all of those. And I find like the rice, if you're looking to make a savory, dressing that you would replace, not having eggs or milk in it, then, I use the rice. If I want something a little sweeter, I'll go with the almond milk.
Okay.
So yeah, just experimenting with different products on the market. That's part of our fun on the show as well, is testing things out. How well does this work? What does it taste like? Would we recommend you trying it? That sort of stuff. So.
Well, the nice thing about the experimentation is it does open up worlds to people like myself who again, I just as soon go to Taco Bell and grab, a beef and bean burrito as opposed to, a salad for sake of argument. But at the same time, I'm not one of those people that's like I'm against vegetables. I just don't think of them as a full on meal. I always thought of them as more of a side dish type.
Right.
Right.
So it does have a versatility in the fact that you're giving more information about this lifestyle with and I don't want to come off as judgmental in this. So if I do apologize in this.
Oh,
No problem.
With a lot of vegans and vegetarians, a lot of times they come off as very elitist when they're telling you how their lifestyle is better for you than anybody else's.
Right.
So one thing I did take from so far from the show is that you guys do not come off like that. You guys do come off as approachable to people like myself who are like, well, why can't I have a chicken leg once in a while, or whatever the case may be. With that said, and with the versatility, a lot of your recipes could in fact also be used with non-vegetarian or vegan style meals. Like if somebody wanted to have chicken breast along with spiraled spaghetti, your recipes do incorporate with that as well, correct?
Yes.
Right. Oh yeah.
And then of course the big question I got to ask is why YouTube? In the world of like Food Network and all that, was it a personal choice to go YouTube, or is that still the goal in the end to go maybe nationwide television?
Oh, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I guess it's choosing the platform that is going to be the easiest to use right at that moment, and then growing from there. I mean, I've looked into. I would love to be on Chopped.
Yes, it's his dreams to go beyond Chopped.
Oh my gosh!
He's one of the hardest working people I know. He says this is my goal. He's gonna get there.
Right.
And so I think, we're using the platform that we can access right now with our lifestyle. I'm like I said, I teach still and raising kids. So right now, this is what is working for us, and we would like. I think we would like. Our end goal is to maybe be on a network or someplace like that.
And if it works out with YouTube, I mean, there's nothing wrong. The whole thing is yes, it would be nice to be monetized for what we do, but it's also putting stuff out there to help people who are dealing with the same condition that I have, or we've done some gluten-free recipes on there because I have some family members who are lactose intolerant, or not lactose.
Gluten. Gluten.
I'm lactose intolerant, but that's not the reason I don't drink milk. But it's basically just to reach people, and YouTube it's a good way. But we're just
a lot of
hoping,
different age groups we can reach. I mean,
yeah.
it's really something that we love to do. It's our passion, and like he said, reaching people, and then building knowledge and teaching people that you can do this too. You can experiment as well.
Exactly.
So making those choices, healthy choices for yourself, don't just have to be a salad. There's so much more you can do with plant-based meals that I didn't realize there was just so much to do. There's a lot of variety, and just getting that information out, I think is really important.
Well, growing up, I had a girlfriend who was obsessed with potatoes. To her, the potato was the most versatile food on the planet, which leads me to ask with you guys, and especially with the types of meals that you make and create using only vegetables, and sometimes recreating meals that traditionally didn't use vegetables. In your opinion, what is the most versatile food in the world?
I have two.
Okay.
Chickpeas and almonds.
Really? Okay.
Chickpeas, you can make hamburgers. You can make them into a hummus. You can do salads. I do a killer chickpea salad.
Oh, that is so good. You can create it in, like as a base. If you dry them and you powder them, you can do a lot of stuff when you bake. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff you can do with chickpeas and alter its flavor. So.
And almonds, because you can make almond milk, you can make almond butter, you can make, cheese. They actually do a lot of vegan cheeses use almonds for it.
Protein-based foods like that. Yeah.
Or you just take a handful of almonds and
you snack on them.
Glass of almond milk and you're good.
Now, see, I'm going to let my ignorance fly here because, again, this chickpea salad in my brain, in my my TV soaked, video game soaked adult brain, all I see is bowl, iceberg lettuce, carrots, cabbage, throw some chickpeas. There you go. What is so special about this chickpea salad? I've got to know.
It's
one of my favorites.
It's chickpeas. It's vegan mayo, red onion, arugula, and then different spices and herbs that you want to put in there. But yeah, no carrots, because I love carrots, but it just doesn't fit in this salad.
In the salad.
But it's refreshing. And I do it generally every now and then. We did it for a 4th of July and it was gone.
Yeah, if we go to a picnic outing and, instead of bringing the macaroni salad, we bring the chickpea salad and it's gone. People just, it's just different. It's different. It's got different flavors. It's refreshing for the summer months. He started with one version of it and I was like, oh, this is good. And then he changed something up in it. Like the 3rd time he made it, I'm like, what did you do? He's like, I gotta write this down. This is the hit right here. This is the salad right here. So we're always experimenting, always trying different stuff. So it's fun. It
is. I love doing it.
Well, I can tell you guys now that before this interview happened, you already gained 1 subscriber.
Thank you.
And guys, go ahead and tell everybody where they could find Make My Food Awesome, and how often you guys release episodes and when they usually release, so that way people can come find you and check out what you guys are doing.
All right.
Well, you can go to, we're on Facebook under Make My Food Awesome.
Yeah.
You can subscribe to our newsletter, which is actually, we're starting to really release the recipes to go with the YouTube. So that's www.makemyfoodawesome.com.
Okay.
And then you can go on to the big one that we want subscriptions on YouTube too, is the www.youtube.com/makemyfoodawesome. And then we release
episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
In addition to that, we'll release quick tips and
quarantine
cocktails.
So we do have
which
cocktails.
That's been fun.
All right, now I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah,
Yes, you're gonna have to watch all those.
you got to check out the Triple Q, which is the Corpse Reviver Quarantine Cocktail, which
I don't know if that revives you or makes you fall over, but no, that was fun. And lots of different stuff.
Gardening,
quick tips, quick tips. So yeah, we have.
There's a good content on there, and then we do some live at 5s, which are fun.
Or we'll do live in the morning. We'll do breakfast ones.
Exactly. Yeah, we did one yesterday, even for congratulations to the graduates. So
yeah.
Oh, nice. Anything planned up for Father's Day? I mean, that's right around the corner.
I'm sure we will have something.
Yes.
Yeah, I have got the next probably 3-4 weeks planned out recipe wise.
Okay.
I mean, in fact, today we're shooting something later on this evening, our Monday episode, and then we'll shoot Wednesday and Friday's episodes on Sunday. And then I sit downstairs in the nice, cool office and I edit until the wee hours of the morning.
I know that one.
Between that and voiceovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know what? I never do this to guests or anything else, but I will say if you guys ever want to have a guest on who has no idea what they're doing with cooking, do not call me. But because I don't want to destroy your guys'.
No, actually, we had an idea about that. Remember, we were going to have live Zoom cooking lessons.
Yes, we actually had talked about doing
They don't have to be high stress.
Well,
we won't get to you, Chris, if you don't want it.
well, not for me, but I was going to suggest that maybe my wife would be interested because she is the cook of the house. So
that would be
Sure,
absolutely
we would love
fine.
it.
It
Love
would
to
definitely
do.
be fine.
you guys ever like to have a guest, let me know and I'll shoot her over to you guys. I'm sure you
Okay.
guys will.
No problem. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you very much for joining us. Again, please go check out Make My Food Awesome. As this advertisement stated, it's for everybody. It's not just for vegans and vegetarians. My dumb ass was probably, I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there eating a ham sandwich while watching. And I felt kind of guilty afterwards.
Hey, that's okay.
It's funny. It's funny because the ham sandwich is what
What
got me into the hospital.
There we go. Make me feel smaller. But no, definitely check out. There's some great ingredients, great show, positive message. I can't say enough about these guys. Go give their channel some love. Like, comment, subscribe. Share it with your friends, people who cook, people who don't cook, like me, because I burn water. There is a story. Hell with it. Before we go off air, I'll tell you the story. I was 15 years old and I was coming home from school and I was hungry one day. And so I grabbed a pot and I filled it up with water and I put it on the burner to boil some hot dogs. And as a typical 15-year-old, I went into the other room, turned on the TV, and sat in a chair.
Right.
And I must have fallen asleep because I woke up to the smoke alarm going off. And here, what had happened is the water had boiled out of the pot, and the pot caught fire and melted.
Oh my goodness.
Since then, I'm the only person in history ever to burn water.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
How scary. I'm glad you didn't catch the house on fire.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
mhm.
So that's why, as my wife says, I'm not even allowed in the kitchen.
That's probably a good call on her part.
Yeah, probably. Oh man, but guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode in any capacity, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other great podcasts from Realm of Mist Entertainment, and of course, audio only fans, we got you covered. Just check us out on Anchor, on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes. We just got to iTunes. Hey, you know,
Awesome.
anywhere you can find quality podcasts, you can find us. And again, Mark, Tricia, it was an absolute honor. I had a blast. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very
We
much.
had a great time.
All right. Check out their show, Make My Food Awesome. And guys, I will catch you on the next Breaking the Fourth Wall. Hey guys, it's Chris from Realm of the Mist Entertainment. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other great podcasts that can be found on Realm of the Mist Entertainment's YouTube channel or our sister channel, Sounds Dicey Gaming, for all your tabletop needs. And if you prefer your podcast in audio-only format, check out Realm of the Mist Entertainment on Anchor.fm, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever quality podcasts can be heard. To our Patreon supporters, we thank you very, very much. And if you're interested in being a Patreon supporter, please go over to patreon.com/Realm of the Mist, and just $1 a month gives you exclusive content and helps our channel out greatly. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode.